I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker. We have invited the founder of Mynd Incorporated, one of the country's most successful business process outsourcing firms. She also founded the Mindanao Hong Kong Workers Federation. Please welcome Ms. Mira Fernandez.
I cannot imagine myself standing before you, a woman who was a former domestic helper as an OFW, who never graduated high school. People challenged me today to inspire you down and to share a different perspective on the BPO industry that you serve. I will do my best to meet that challenge. I am a woman from the masa, from the poorest of the poor. That is our family picture. That is me standing to the left of my mother. My father was a fisherman, and from the island of Bohol, and my mother from Mindanao, and I am the eldest of 6 children. Some of my earliest memories are the tears of my mother's eyes when we would go to bed, hampered. I know from the personal experience the phase of poverty. When I was 10 years old, I would dive alone in the sea to gather seaweed and seashells to help feed my family. Like many other women born into poverty in the Philippines, my only chance to fulfill my dreams for my family was to go overseas to seek employment. So I became an OFW, and I left my 2 children behind and spent the next 20 years working as a domestic helper and raising other people's children. It was while working as a domestic helper in Hong Kong in 1999 that I founded Mindanao Hong Kong Workers Federation. I was fortunate to serve as a chairman for 8 years. My employer in Hong Kong trusted me to raise their son. His name was Jonathan, and he was only 8 years old at the time. It was Jonathan who taught me how to use a computer. I soon began applying technology to the operation of Mindanao Hong Kong Workers Federation. However, when I discovered the internet, I began to fully understand people could perform services without the need to leave home. For those of you who have never had to leave your children behind, you have no idea how powerful a concept that is. In Hong Kong, the Mindanao Hong Kong Workers Federation would gather in the park on Sunday during our day off. There we would conduct our meetings, and part of my responsibility as a leader was to listen to my members, listen to their complaints, grievances, stories, and some of those stories broke my heart. I cannot count the number of nights I lay in bed crying. Sometimes I cry for myself, and other times I cry for my members. But because of the empowering nature of technology, I started dreaming. I dreamed of coming back home and started my own business, of becoming a job creator. I simply didn't want another mother and father to follow in my footsteps, to suffer the same pain and anguish of being separated from their families. To make a very long story short, I returned home to the Philippines after almost 20 years. In 2006, I founded a business process outsourcing company in Davao called Mynd Consulting. We started with 2 people and an old computer from Hong Kong. offering backtesting and QA services for U.S. clients. Today, we run multiple shifts and focus on social media and mobile application development. In addition, we supply teams of programmers on a long-term basis to clients in both U.S. and Europe. Now that you know my background, you can appreciate that I view the BPO industry from a very different perspective. Remember, we are the nation of OFWs. We need to ask, what does 500,000 or 600,000 jobs we really need? The answer, it means 500,000 or 600,000 mothers, fathers, sons and daughters who will now stay in the Philippines instead of being ripped from their families to go overseas. Now, for those of you who have never left your children behind for 5, 10, 15 years, that is a powerful message. In conclusion, when I dove alone in the sea at the age of 10 to help feed my family, that was not heroic. That was survival. When I left my family to go overseas for almost 20 years, that was not heroic either. That was a tragic necessity to help my family break the cycle of poverty. But when I returned to the Philippines and started a BPO that created jobs, that was heroic. Now, for my parents,
I'm giving time for everyone to apply the spirit of the people. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Thank you very much. Don't step down. Thank you very much. I'm sure everyone was moved by our speech.